He reminds me a few things of Raúl.
This is Gonzalo Garcia.
Gonzalo Garcia for 3! This young man continues to impress for Real Madrid.
This is Raúl.
And Raúl, that is spectacular football from Real Madrid.
This is Garcia again, and this is Raúl again. The 21-year-old Spanish forward has gone from a Castilla star to a first-team hero almost overnight. Usually, it's Barca that spawns players out of nowhere, but this time, it's Real Madrid. Garcia is banging in goals like he's been playing with the squad for years. Now, some of you might remember him from the winner he scored against Leganés in the Copa del Rey in 2025. He came off the bench and won the game for Real Madrid. But in usual Ancelotti fashion, he never got another opportunity until now. Unlike Eyebrow Man, Alonso has a lot of faith in the young Spanish forward.
For me, it's not that big surprise what he's doing because he's a typical number 9.
He was excellent at the Club World Cup, providing Madrid an outlet in the box, something they haven't had since Joselu in the 2024 season, and we all know how important he was.
And Joselu scores! Incredible!
Because even Mbappe with his brilliance isn't a natural 9. He isn't good in the air, he isn't always pressing, and at times, he'd rather hug the touchline than actually crash into the box. Well, Garcia does all of that. Let's look at his goal against Borussia Dortmund. So the first thing I want you guys to notice is how he's already battling with the center backs. This might seem like a basic thing, but Mbappe isn't doing this. He's not playing in the box like this. He's not physically battling against the central defenders because he's not a natural number 9, but Gonzalo Garcia is. So he's already battling. I think that's Emre Can, but he's already battling. Now look, he crashes into the box. Again, seems basic. Mbappe doesn't do it. He goes in, they cross the ball in, it doesn't reach him. But again, he's not sulking or pouting. He just gets back into position and he makes another run. And this is huge because, again, what Real Madrid lack is players that move without the ball. Everybody apparently needs the ball at their feet to make an impact. Vini, Mbappe, Rodrigo. Gonzalo Garcia, on the other hand, he just comes back into position. He looks for the next cross. And again, look where he is. In an area, so I'll play it a little bit further. You're going to see that he's going to be in between both center backs here. Look, perfectly positioned. Now, this is the defending of a Bundesliga team. This is why Bundesliga at times gets called a farmer's league, because of the shocking defending. But it's great positioning. Right in the penalty spot. He's awaiting the cross. Arda Güler finds him. Wonderful ball. And look, bang. And what's impressive to me about this goal isn't just that he found himself in a great position. It's also the finish. Look at this. Inside of the right foot. Beautiful. But to me, this entire goal comes from his positioning, his willingness to run without the ball, to be able to constantly be a target in the box. Madrid haven't had a box presence like this basically since Joselu. So they need somebody who can operate in the 6-yard box around the penalty spot and just get on the end of these crosses. Because now they have Arda Güler who can whip them in and Trent from the right side. So they have the quality, they just need somebody that can convert those chances into goals. Okay, so this is his goal against Al Hilal. Now, a lot of people brushed off this goal because it was in the beginning of the Club World Cup and because a lot of people, frankly, underestimated Al Hilal, right? They said this is a Camel League team that, as I'll show you guys later, that Gonzalo Garcia just scored a tap-in against a weak opposition. But as we saw later in the tournament, with them eliminating Manchester City, with them going far, this was a Champions League caliber squad. And now that we know how good this team is, we can move away from the jokes and actually look at how impressive it is that Gonzalo Garcia was able to score against this team. So the goal actually, his impact for it starts from here. He grabs the ball and he keeps going. Look, the most important thing for me is he passes the ball and he continues running. What Real Madrid lack is players that are willing to do the dirty work without the ball. And Gonzalo Garcia is not one of those players. So he plays the ball to Vini, but he continues sprinting. Look, he continues running, he continues running. So as Real Madrid move up the pitch, he's now, again, very similar to the goal against Borussia Dortmund, finds himself in a pocket of space. And I call this area right here the Bermuda Triangle, because as good as Gonzalo Garcia's positioning is, at the end of the day, any space next to Joao Cancelo is free space. That brother does not mark. Fantastic on the ball, a complete defensive liability. But again, somebody has to make this run. They have to get into this position. So Real Madrid gets the ball to Rodrigo. And again, look, he had his hand up. Let me bring it back a little bit. I'll show you guys again. He has his hand up. He's calling for the ball. He's vocal. He's getting him behind. And Rodrigo is able to find him with this pass. He fluffs the finish a little bit. I'll show you guys a closer angle. It's not as clean as he would have liked, but it got the result. And more importantly, it was against Bono, who we've seen is a fantastic goalie. So let me just play you guys a different angle from here. This is a good one. Again, it starts from Gonzalo Garcia himself. He grabs the ball, plays with intensity, gets the ball up the pitch, but he doesn't stop running once he passes it. Look, he's behind Vinny, almost at the halfway line, but he continues sprinting, continues. And then I just want to go show you guys the finish. This is an amazing pass, by the way, right? Curls it around the defense. He's in the Bermuda Triangle behind Joao Cancelo, crosses it in, boom. Okay, so this is the goal against Juventus. Now, I'm playing it a little bit earlier than the goal just to show you guys a few things. So initially, Vinny gets the ball from here. He looks inside, but again, they're looking for that inverted cross in so that it puts... This is a very difficult cross because if they put enough spin on it, even if everybody misses the ball, it can turn into a finesse shot. So right here, they're looking for runners. And again, look at Gonzalo Garcia's positioning in the penalty spot, crashing the box, being an outlet for crosses. So Vinny puts the ball in. Sorry for the mouse clicks. Nothing happens. But again, he's not pouting. He's already on his toes getting ready for the next cross, right? He's waiting. Now Trent whips this ball in. And again, he's already lost his man here, Gonzalo Garcia. He already lost his guy because now this guy has gone to Rudiger. So he's going to be wide open in the box. Trent whips it in. Boom. Goal. And again, the guy who was marking him went to Rudiger and he utilized the space. All the goals have been around the same area, right? It's him dominating this 6-yard box and this space between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box. And he has to, because other than him, there's nobody else that can do him. Look at the other guys that are up there to score. This is Rudiger on the ground and this is Dean Housen. Bellingham is the only other player that can provide that, and you rather see your striker provide these kind of runs and this kind of presence in the box consistently over necessarily Jude. You don't want your midfielder or even your attacking midfielder to be the only guy that is actually willing to crash into the box. Again, this is them clearing the ball out. Trent gets it here. Again, Garcia, look at him, battling with the center backs, being in physical duels, getting ready for the crosses. This stuff seems basic, but I'm telling you, Kylian Mbappe, despite how good he is, despite how world-class he is, these are not the type of things that are in his locker. That's not the type of player that he is. So Trent gets it, and again, Gonzalo Garcia, as you notice in all of his goals, he's done a great job of creating separation to actually get some space to be able to score these headers. That's why whenever you see him score, there doesn't seem to be anybody around him in a 5-meter radius. Look, again, he comes in between two players, free header. And by the way, Di Gregorio, Juventus' goalie, was playing like a monster this game. So this was really good that he was able to head it past them. This is one of my favorite angles from the goal. Because again, when the ball drops, look, these are the two guys closest to him. And Kalulu was too busy with Rudiger. Rugani's marking Bellingham. He's free. Now, could this be because teams have underestimated him because not a lot of people knew who he was? Maybe. But I like to give credit to the player for his wonderful positioning because he's done it consistently now. It's not like a one-off goal against Al Hilal or a one-off goal against Juventus. He's done it time and time again. Not only is he scoring goals, but he's also a beast off the ball. He's constantly pressing, working hard to close players down, fighting for every duel. This kind of attitude, I'm telling you, is contagious. When you see your striker leading the line, pressing like it's his last game, running like his life depends on it, it makes you want to run with him. And this is the type of passion and desire you only get from academy players. You can't buy this sort of dedication. This is a byproduct of a player who has been at the club from a young age, someone who lives and breathes Madrid, which once again begs the question, why was Ancelotti not giving this guy an opportunity? Because you see, when Alonso was saying that he wasn't surprised by how well Garcia was playing, he wasn't lying. While to the rest of the world he might have been this unknown guy, everyone around the club had known just how good he is because he had been excellent in the youth teams. In the 2023 season, Gonzalo Garcia was on fire for Real Madrid's under-19 team. He scored more goals than anyone else on the squad and helped them win everything: the league, the cup, and the Spanish Super Cup. It was a dream season, and it showed everyone that this young striker had something special. Because of his amazing form, Gonzalo Garcia got a big reward: a promotion to Real Madrid Castilla, the club's B team. In January of 2022, he took the big step, and now he was one level away from playing for the biggest club in the world. But even with the tougher competition, Gonzalo didn't slow down. Now, his first season with Castilla wasn't exactly spectacular. He scored just 5 goals in 27 games. Nothing that really turned heads. But then came the 2024-2025 season, and that's when everything changed. Gonzalo exploded with goals. It's like the saying that Ronaldo said, if you keep stroking that ketchup can enough, it's gonna bust.
The Champions League and the goals, they are like the ketchup. When you start, when you open, they're coming in the same way.
By the middle of the season, he had already scored 19 goals in just 21 games. He wasn't just scoring tap-ins either. He was using all the tools in his locker to score in a variety of ways. And now suddenly, fans and coaches were all talking about him. It's actually quite fitting that the Castilla coach at the time was Raúl, and he praised Garcia publicly multiple times. By the end of the season, Gonzalo Garcia had scored 25 goals, tying the all-time single-season scoring record for Real Madrid Castilla. In just 1 year, he had gone from a promising youth player to one of Castilla's greatest ever goal scorers. Now, his amazing run didn't go unnoticed. He ended up getting a call-up to the Real Madrid first team. Now, his first call-up had actually come in August of 2023. After that, he made a couple of short appearances as a sub, but nothing crazy. At best, it was just a taste of top-level football. But his real big moment came on February 5th, 2025, when Real Madrid were playing Leganés in the Copa del Rey quarterfinal. This was a really crazy game. Madrid had blown a 2-goal lead, and it looked like the game was going to extra time. Then in the 93rd minute, with just a few seconds left, Ancelotti took a gamble. He chucked the young striker from Castilla up top, hoping that he could make a difference, and he did. Now, unfortunately for him, he had to wait all the way till the Club World Cup in the USA to get another opportunity. Xabi called him up and gave him his first start after Mbappe was out sick. And as I showed you guys earlier in the breakdown, Gonzalo Garcia did not waste the opportunity. He scored and got the man of the match in the first game against Al Hilal. In the next game against Pachuca, the good form continued, this time with Garcia getting an assist. He was showing Xabi that he's the all-around 9 he's looking for. He can score and create. Then in the final group game against Salzburg, he's shown again. Real needed a win to top the group. Garcia started again, and he added another goal. This time, it was a beautiful chip to seal a 3-0 win. So let's analyze the goal that sent Real Madrid to the knockout round. I wanted to break down this goal for you guys as well because it shows another aspect of his game, and it's him punishing teams in transition. Because the previous goals were all the same. It was either a header or tap in from the 6-yard box. But this, it shows a different side of Gonzalo Garcia as a striker. So right here, Real Madrid wins the ball in possession. It's Trent. He plays the pass. It's actually not a great through ball, as I'll show you guys in this next frame. Right? It's not bad, but it goes straight to the defender. But again, look at the running and pressing Gonzalo Garcia does. He doesn't give up on the pass. He doesn't give up on the play. And of course, it's his pressing. He gets a little touch on it. Goes by the defender. 1v1. And look at this. Beautiful. It's a nice little chip. Sorry for the mouse click noises, guys. This is where the ball is. Look. This is where the pass was. He's not close to it, but he presses the defender and he forces a mistake. And again, this stuff may seem basic, but there's not a lot of strikers that are willing to do this kind of work without the ball. This is a lost play. This is a pass that is basically a turnover, and Gonzalo Garcia transforms it into a goal. So he presses, he wins the ball, still running, and then a beautiful chip. Just to show that he's not some work rate merchant. He's also a great technical number 9. And this is why he gets compared with Raúl. Because this beautiful chip is something that only elite 9s do. Darwin Núñez would have put this in rosette. Romelu Lukaku might have ran into the goalkeeper. So it's not always a guarantee that your striker can finish from here. So it's a nice finish. It shows his qualities in transition, that he's not just somebody that can crash the box. He's also somebody that can be an outlet and a threat in behind. Then in the knockouts, you saw what he did against Juve. It was a reminder that he really is an aerial threat. The previous goals were not a fluke. And just to remind you again, he scored again, this time against Borussia Dortmund. So going into the semifinals, he had 4 goals and 1 assist in 5 matches. Every game he had contributed something statistically. Even though the squad was filled with stars, it was the 21-year-old from Castilla who was stealing the spotlight. Does Mbappe go straight back into the lineup up front, or can he coexist with Gonzalo Garcia at the same time? Because as phenomenal as Mbappe is, it might be better to have the Frenchman play off a natural number 9 like he did with Giroud at France. We have seen that when Xabi uses his 3-back system, he has 2 number 10s around the striker. So theoretically, Vinny and Mbappe could play in those roles with Garcia as the striker. Maybe that way he brings Bellingham further back. It's an option. What Garcia offers are traits that not even a world-class player like Mbappe or a top talent like Endrick can provide. Neither can head the ball consistently from crosses. That's not their game. I'm sure Mbappe will get better at pressing. He basically has to if he wants to play, but he can't press like Garcia. No matter who plays up front, you definitely need a Real Madrid jersey of your own. Just go to buygamejerseys.com and use code PETTALKS at checkout. Garcia is an unselfish player who's willing to do whatever it takes to play. He will run for you, battle for you, and score too. As I stated earlier, that's what academy players do. They bleed for the badge in a way that big transfers won't always be able to replicate. Madrid need a presence like him in the box, someone that can punish teams from crosses, a player who doesn't need the ball to shine, especially in Alonso's new system. His master plan for this Madrid team has been leaked, and I examined it all in detail for you guys in this video right here. Check it out.